Hello, everyone. It is Susan Gerbic back from the Psychics Explain channel. So if you guys are not already subscribed to our channel, this is the time to do it because lots and lots and lots are coming up. I welcome all comments. I try to answer all the comments. I certainly look at every comment, and I appreciate it so much that you're here with us. I have a returning co-host, and this is Rebecca. Say hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Susan. Hi, everybody.
So Rebecca has reviewed one already Matt Fraser video. She has
Yes.
had over 40 views of Matt Fraser uh, readings in the past few months. And she's fairly new to Matt Fraser before that, right?
Yes, I had no idea who Matt Fraser was before this.
We're going to end up reviewing more psychics eventually. So different psychics. So this should be very interesting to take your experience with Matt Fraser to how other people cold read. And it's all, it's a skill, it's a practice skill. So today I said, Rebecca, let's do another one. But I'm going to randomly give you one that you haven't seen before. And she said, okay. So yeah.
And as the fates would have it.
She relates to it. So
Yes.
it should be fascinating because we haven't talked about it yet. So I've watched it a few times. I've transcribed it. It's ready to go, and I have no idea what Rebecca is going to say, but she knows the drill. She knows how this works. So we're going to
Wait,
be
Susan, let
interrupting.
me have my iced coffee.
Is it from Duncan?
No, babe. We're going for the full buck here.
Starbucks. That's so funny. This guy. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I don't know. He has to go out.
They'll
to
get
get
it
coffee.
in a minute.
Doesn't he have his espresso kind of, in a, doesn't he
He
have it?
always has some kind of iced coffee from a purveyor there with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very interesting how this guy is. We're starting to understand him really well as far as his personality and things.
And his
I
production.
his
Right.
production. Yes, his production.
Yes.
Maybe he should have commercials for Duncan or wherever in his. And we're brought to you by Duncan. She's crazy. Anyway, so I'm a quick reminder to everybody. We are going to be reviewing this. We're going to stop and start as we feel like we need to stop and start. And Rebecca and I are watching it clear. No blur over the person who's the sitter. This time I have in this video with Rebecca, you'll see captions on everything. The last time I had to blur part of the captions with Rebecca because the mother intervened and there was like captions were at the bottom, and then I had to blur mom, and of course they were running across her screen. So I'm liking this better because I like having the captions on there for you guys to see as well as for Rebecca and I to be able to review it. So it'll help a little bit. I'm really curious where this is going to go because of something you said earlier. So I don't know. But anyway, comments below, you guys. I really appreciate it. Rebecca and I are going to see things that you guys won't see, and you will see things that we won't see. So I don't know. Ready?
I'm ready. Let's dig in.
All
I
right.
have my notes of debunkables here. Let's go.
Position book. Oh, that's too funny. Okay. So the first thing people are going to see on the screen is, of course, Matt with his color coordinated outfit, his staring exactly in the center of the screen, right at your face, and his hand gestures, everything just neatly put on screen so everybody can see him. But you're going to see somebody else first. You're going to see a
bronzer alert.
Oh.
Bronzer alert.
Oh my gosh, color coordinated,
Yes, we are ready.
So there's going to be a person who appears on the screen first, but that is going to be the last reading because he always pulls up the last reading. While he's doing the last reading, he immediately goes into the first reading. So, I mean, the next reading. He doesn't want to have any delay. He's just go, 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 go. So the first person, just ignore. I keep them on the screen so that I'm showing to everyone that I am not cutting this video. It is exactly what it was as it happened the day we watched it. Oh, this is from December 21st, 2025. You and I watched it then. Well, no, you didn't go that day. This is new to you.
No, this is new to me.
Yeah, so
This is new to me.
this is old to me. Well, not old, but the 21st of December, 2025. And Rebecca and I are recording this on the 6th of January, 2026. Okay, here we go.
I feel like I'm with Sharon because there's a soul that's coming through with them. I keep hearing about this young male that had passed away here in the physical world. So, did you lose the son, or was there the young male that had passed?
My son.
Your son. Your son is here.
Okay, so we're going to pause. I forgot, in this case, there wasn't somebody who overlapped with them. All right, Rebecca, why don't you describe what we're seeing here?
Sure. So we have to the right and what appears to be an older lady. She has gray hair and glasses. So she would most likely, if this was a young male, be a mother figure of some kind. And we also have sitting next to her a younger woman, maybe early 20s, maybe even late teens, who might be a friend, girlfriend, sister, cousin type situation if there was a young male.
I think she looks older to me, but then
Yeah, you think?
yeah, I think she's closer to 30s. And the mom is at least my age, maybe 60 something.
Okay.
No,
okay.
look, Rebecca, now that I see this really big, look behind mom's head, Sharon's head. Do you see in that picture frame?
Susan,
That's
how did I
freaky.
miss this?
Well, I looked at it small. So, okay, that's creepy. All right. So what we're looking at behind mom's head is some small frames, right? And
Yes.
there is a frame and right past mom's head. Gosh, I wish I could show it to you guys. Well, maybe I can make a screenshot and put it somewhere. Let me make a screenshot of that really quick. And then maybe I will blow that up. But it is so weird because it is exactly the come on now. It is exactly what we're seeing on the screen. How is that happening?
Right.
Well, come on now. Why couldn't I make it work?
The people that are sitting next to each other, it's almost the exact same picture back in this smaller picture. So the upper, if you're looking at the screen, the upper left-hand corner of the older ladies.
It's in a mirror. It's not even a mirror image. It's almost exactly.
It's almost exact.
It looks like the same couch. The clothing,
right, but their heads are closer together, indicating some sort of close relationship. And you can see that their shoulders are almost touching in what we're seeing here on the screen.
Wow, that looks really strange. I had not seen it. Anyway, that I don't know. Okay, so I guess they've done a picture in the same situation, wearing kind of the same muted colors with the same hairstyles and
right.
That's weird. Okay, that is strange. Okay, anyway, I don't know why it's there, but all right, it's there. Okay. So they're British or have an accent, and we're going to find that out in a minute. So that
right.
is, Matt's very interested in accents because he doesn't seem to get to travel to other places to do shows except Canada, and they're not letting him back in right now.
I have a theory on that, but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. All right. So he started with a mystery, didn't
right.
He said there's a younger male. I keep hearing about a younger. So did you lose the son? Wait, let me mute this for a second and play it for a second here, because I've already forgotten. Too many choices.
He did ask an open-ended question.
Okay, there's here in the physical world. Did you lose a son, or was there a young male that passed? Okay. So that's quite wide open. That's what I call a mystery. One of his three things he does: parent, grandparent, or mystery. And usually the mystery is a tragedy somewhere. So
right. So he is fishing here because that could cover a wide range of possible answers. And then we're going to go forward from whatever they indicate that answer is going to be. So he's prompting them into a response here to find out who this person is supposedly coming in from the other side.
At no point is he mentioning right now that he didn't say specifically it was a son. He said, could it be a son? Is it your son or some other young man?
Young man.
And no names.
No name.
You know, the guy's talking to him. I think he should know the name. Okay, so let's turn that volume back up again. And let's go.
My son.
Your son. Your son is here. Because right away I kept hearing and I was hearing these other souls, and your son literally came in and pushed everybody out, and he's like, find my mom, find my mom, find my mom. And then he kept saying to me, Sharon, Sharon, Sharon. So that was your son that passed away.
Yes.
He's here. He just called you by name and was like, you need to come over to her. And who are you here with?
It's my son's sisters. That's my daughter.
Okay, perfect. So know that, by the way, where are you guys right now?
In England.
What time is it in England?
It is now 5 to 6 in the evening.
If I do this reading for you, can you teach me to speak like you?
Yes.
Because on the East Coast here in the United States, when someone's like, "Oh, what time is it?" We're like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Now I'm going to be like, "It is." I'm going to be very proper. I have to learn to be proper. That's the problem. Please know that your son is here, because literally I felt him pulling me, you have to talk to my mother, and literally he was telling me find my mom, find my mom.
Okay.
Can we stop here?
Yeah, go for it.
So a couple things. What happens when your child gets lost in the grocery store? It's find my mom, find my mom, find my mom.
Mm.
Right? So we have a young male. So she's going to be able to identify with this in some way. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I think that he does when asking, because he asks everybody, where are you from? It's not to necessarily connect a rapport or build a rapport. Most of these people are here because they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so that he can tap into the socio regional ideas of what's expected from that area of the country or the world. So we know already that they're from England. So we typically would know that the English are more reserved in expressing outward emotion. They're going to have a stiff upper lip. Expression and loud talking is not acceptable out in public. So I think that this is going to be interesting, because he really follows along and asks for, body language response to help cue him in to his reading. So I think we're going to find this one a little bit interesting because of that.
Okay, so what I want to say is I have had a lot of dealings with the British people, and at no point have I ever heard somebody refer to their mother as mom. They refer to him as mum. So why is he saying find my mom, find my mom? He would say find my mum. Where's my mum? He would say it like that. So Matt is not that familiar with British culture, I think, in that way. And I think that I guess Matt would just use an excuse and say, oh, he's just interpreting it. That's how he's interpreting. He's not exactly saying find my mom, even though that's what Matt's saying. Find my mom, find my mom.
Right.
It wouldn't make sense. And why would the son say Sharon, Sharon, Sharon? He'd say, there's my mom right there. There's my mom. She's right there with my sister Elizabeth, or whatever.
Right.
He wouldn't say, and he'd say, tell him Joseph is here. Tell him Joseph's here. Tell him Joseph Bentworth is here. He would say, if Matt never gives names that are, how do I say it? He says they're identifying. He's telling you it's him. Well, why doesn't he just give evidence that it's him, other than it's a young male and she connects it to a son? So, okay, ready to go on?
Sure.
So know, first of all, he's here. And the moment that I'm connecting with your son, he wants to let you know that he is okay on the other side. He wants to thank you for the way that you speak to him and talk to him in your head, and have these little conversations with him, because he says, Matt, I want to let my mom know that I can hear her speaking to me. But when I'm also connecting with him, he was just young when he had passed away, when I'm speaking to him. Because he says to me, Matt, he goes, I want my mom to remember the younger memories of me and the good memories that we had here in this world. But here's what I don't understand. When I'm connecting with him, he's also talking about, before his passing, going through some anxiety struggles and going through some emotional changes here in the physical world. And he keeps telling me about, he wants to thank you for helping him through that. How old was he when he passed?
40.
Okay. Because when I'm connecting with him, he's bringing this through to me. And he's just said to me when I'm speaking to him, and let me just back up and just explain how he's explained to me. Your son shows me that he was a very sensitive soul here in this world. Like very, very sensitive, very connected. But there were some times when he felt misunderstood when he was here, because he was so sensitive. Like he's also showing me like this, what's it called? lover of the arts when I'm connecting with him, like with music and like writing and like things like that he was connected to. So when I'm speaking to him, how do you connect with the music with him?
Music he enjoyed. Not the music I'd like, but yeah.
He's bringing this through when I'm connecting, but I also see like.
Okay, I'm gonna stop because there's something that I noticed, but I don't think you noticed it in the same way I did. What do you think about this?
A couple of different things. He starts out really young in the way that he's presenting this. He also starts out with mental health struggles because he still doesn't know how old this person is. You know, I actually looked up online the ranges for childhood cause of death. You know, the first one being congenital reasons, the second one being you know, suicide or self-harm between the ages of 10 and 17. And once we hit 14, it's malignancy is number 3. But when I heard this, I didn't see the transcript because this transcript didn't go past the first page for me in the recording you sent me. I thought they said 14. But when I'm looking at the transcript here, they're saying 40.
That's exactly what I heard. I went back over this over and over, and I swear she says 40. But I'm going to play that little bit again so people can hear it. So you guys, now that we've primed you, there's a little pareidolia. Now you're gonna do. Now, first off, why is Matt asking him? Why is he asking
He
the
should
parent?
know. Yes, he
He's
should
talking
know.
to him directly. He should know how long ago it was he died. He should know what he died of. He should know his name. He should know all of that information. But I swear she says 40, and that's what the transcript came up with. But you heard 14.
I did.
And that's what I thought was really interesting because the reading is for a 14-year-old.
Yes,
she never corrects him. She never corrects him.
Never corrects him.
I'm thinking the whole time, I'm thinking, why is he talking like a teenager when it's a 40-year-old?
Right. So, he starts talking as though this is a very young child that maybe just started to talk, is my impression. And then we advance to an older child situation. So we start off with the mental health situation again. We haven't talked about the body, the disease, the anything. He starts talking about, you know, this music piece that's usually in teenage years is when young people become interested in music and have their own ideas and tastes in that.
But I swear, okay, so listen again, people.
How old was he when he passed?
40.
Okay. Because when I'm connecting.
Okay, I swear that says 40. But okay, so maybe it is 14 and her accent is just an accent that I'm not picking up on.
It's a mystery. We'll never know.
Well, yeah, but I guess because I haven't looked at this large yet. I have not seen it large. So let's see if she kind of looks quizzical whenever we get into the, he's obviously talking about a teenager and I'm thinking it's 40-year-old. It
Well,
might,
he keeps saying helping other children later on. And so that's why I thought 14.
He goes
but yeah, I'm not giving anything else away.
It's a teenager is what he's relating to. Okay, let's see. Where am I at? I hope I didn't go too far. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay.
Sensitive soul here in this world, like very, very sensitive, very connected. But there were sometimes when he felt misunderstood when he was here because he was so sensitive.
Does every teenager ever?
This,
right.
What's it called? Lover of the arts when I'm connecting with him, like with music and like writing and like things like that he was connected to. So when I'm speaking to him, how do you connect with the music with him?
Music he enjoyed. Not the music I'd like, but yeah.
He's bringing this through when I'm connecting, but I also see like this, I don't know if he used to paint or used to draw, but he's showing me like, it almost looks like sketches to me when I'm connecting with him.
No, I don't know.
Do you know? Because he's talking about like wishing that he would have embraced his talents more and like shown more of this. And I feel like that he was just either nervous about it or like he was just unsure, but he's bringing this through when I'm connecting with him. And I got to tell you that I know that he passed in tragedy here in the physical world when I'm speaking to him. He's talking about, hold on a second. He's bringing me back through his passing.
What's his name, Matt?
I'm just filling the dots of what he's telling me.
What's his sister's name, Matt?
Was he going through treatment at the time of his passing?
Yes.
Okay. And because he was talking about, and listen, I'm going to use the way that he's describing it to me, and I'm sorry to be visual like this, but he keeps telling me there was treatment, but there was treatment going through his body with toxins. There were all toxins going through his body here in this world because of the treatment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay, so here we go. He uses a stop statement. Okay, so we're going to be looking for that. But first off, he starts out with the music. He doesn't get a good hit on that music piece. So then we move into actual visual art, creation of visual art. And during the music and the visual art piece, you can see them look at each other. The mom has pursed lips like this. They sort of look up. She refers to the daughter and says, do you know? The daughter shakes her head no about the visual arts. So we got two misses here. Miss with the music, a miss with the art. Now we head back to the anxiety, and he asks, let me connect with him. Let me connect with him. He's going to close his eyes. This is him taking a step back and trying to figure out where to go from here. This is a stop phrase for him as far as, oh crap, I've messed up twice now. Let me reanalyze and go back and try to come up with the best probability of what to look for here. Okay. He starts talking about, hold on, let me get to my notes. The tragedy in passing. So if we're assuming that he's doing this reading for a 14-year-old, of course, every passing is a tragedy, but most 14-year-olds are going to be dying unexpectedly, being an accident, a sudden illness, or the self-harm situation. So then he asks, was your son in treatment? Okay, so for all three of those things, most likely a child would be in treatment for. He doesn't say what kind of treatment. He doesn't tell us what kind of disease we were looking for. So then he's going to go with the toxins because that takes out the accidental death, right? You're going to be receiving treatment for a congenital disease if you have a sudden onset disease or cancer, right? So we're going with two different things here. He talks about going through the body with the toxins and the horrible side effects and the toxins. His body's on fire, and he's going to start nodding like this, okay? So he's trying to narrow down based on if we're going with this is a reading for a child, those three general probabilities. It's just like being in a horse race and playing the numbers in my mind, what I'm thinking of when I look at this.
Right. There's what bugged me about it is I think he's steering towards cancer, like a leukemia or something like that. It really bothers me. Now I've had cancer. My partner had cancer.
Oh, God bless, Susan.
We all went through chemo. And let me tell you, chemo can save lives. So whenever I hear celebrities or people of influence that make it downplay chemo and make it like, oh, well, it's a toxin, it's going to harm you, that kind of crap. Well, Matt, you know what? You are not a doctor and you need to shut the F up because you let the doctor talk to you about it. But there is a lot of that going on in the world where they kind of like, oh, it's just as bad as the disease and chemo is this and chemo is that. It's like, look, sometimes you got to do chemo. And so I don't see any reason where they should be giving any kind of influence like that. It pisses me off. So he's using the word toxin as if it's bad and horrible and kind of assuming that is what did it to him. I don't know. I can't remember the rest of this part, but that just makes me so angry that he's putting his foot in there as if they didn't try everything to save this child's life or adult male's life. I still don't know.
There's still a toss up on that.
Yeah. I'm really watching Mom because I'm very curious if she's going to get like this all fit if he was a 15-year-old, but he's not 14, he's 40. So I don't know. Other people who watch this who are British speakers, you're going to tell us.
We need Paul. We need Paul.
Paul.
We need Paul right now.
He needs to be
here. Well, if you watch this, please comment.
Yeah, is it 40 or 14? Because those are two different words to me. I mean, they're just completely different sounding in the way your mouth would look. So I don't know, maybe. Okay, let's see. All right. Pissing me off. Don't be giving medical advice. Don't be influencing people anyway.
No.
Makes me mad, Matt.
And he keeps talking about horrible side effects that he was going through here in this world. where literally he's like making me feel as though like my body's on fire. He's showing me like when I'm connecting, feeling extremely, extremely sick before his passing. And I think that's where the anxiety was coming through and the emotional changes, because it wasn't just affecting him physically. He tells me it was starting to affect his head and his emotions before he had died. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So please know that your son wants to let you know that he's free and clear of this from the other side, meaning that all of these toxins that were throughout his body because of the treatment, all of the things that he had went through, he wants to let you know that he is fine. And he wants to thank you for being there and by his side and being so supportive of him.
Okay, I'm going to stop really quick because it really bugs me that he says, the toxins are gone, the treatment, he makes it really sound like the treatment is the problem. And that bothers me so bad because so I'm just going to reiterate it again, that, the guy is clearly dying, or he has a serious health problem, and that they're going to try to help him out. And Matt's going on about, the treatment being the problem. And that bugs the crap out of me. Also, he says to her, does that make sense? Now, that does not mean that she agrees. It means that it makes sense to her. And Matt uses this, all cold readers use this. It's very common for them to say, she's been quiet for a while. Like you said, she's British. She's kind of like, not as emotional.
Reserved. Yes.
Yeah, she's more reserved than probably an American mother would be. But, she's dabbing at her eyes a little bit. You can see that she's emotionally attached to this, but it is not, he's trying to get, I think it's just something he says all the time, but she's been quiet for a bit. So he's like, does that make sense to you? Just to get her to say yes.
Right. It's probing. Right.
Yeah,
He's
but not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily. Is that correct? Is that exactly what happened? No, it's just, does that make sense what I'm saying? Yes, it's clear what you're saying, Matt. Okay.
Right. And the other thing is once he realizes he's hit the right path, let's go back and fix one of those mistakes of missing the anxiety in the beginning. Let's tie that into what they just said and make it make sense.
Good point.
So we got to cover ourselves here, right?
Yeah.
So we need to pay attention to that for down the line here.
Okay, here we go.
He keeps telling me that the reason why he keeps showing me back to memories of him back when he was younger, right, was because he wants you to remember him as a time before he got sick, before any of these things started to happen. And when I'm also connecting with him, your son is also telling me, I want my mom to know one thing. He tells me that he was not afraid to die. He was not afraid to leave this world. But what he was nervous about was he did get very nervous with treatments in the hospital and things like that. And he wants to thank you for being by his side and for supporting him through that. I believe whatever it was that he was going through, I think it's with the hospital, they were trying to get him to draw or trying to get him to do, there was something that they were doing with him. All I keep seeing is drawing, and I don't know what this is. I don't know if it was like to help manage some of the anxiety or to help manage some of the stress of going through these treatments, but he's bringing that through and I'm connecting with him. And I also believe that's where the music comes in as well, because I believe that either he was playing music at the time of his treatments or in the hospital. He was talking about music being played.
Yeah, there was music being played.
Okay, I've seen lots of people in the hospital who are okay. When you're going through cancer treatment, you're in the hospital only for periods of time that are like getting the treatment. Maybe you get your surgery, then you're out, then you get your infusions, and then you're out that same day. It's not like you're staying in the hospital and they're doing therapy with you. You go home, you stay home. It's only during hospice or maybe right after you've had some kind of biopsy and you have to take the sedation off of you and everything. You go home. You don't sit in the hospital. Well, maybe in this case, maybe there was possibly where they had to be isolated for radiation reasons, like leukemia. I mean, that's possible, but I've never heard of anybody giving art lessons or anything like that to people in the hospital. What the hell?
We got to keep in mind too, they've never actually affirmed that this is cancer, right? He's still fishing here. And the other thing that he is doing here is he's trying to cover up that mistake of the art
and music
from the beginning. And a lot of times children in the hospital actually have a friend who is an art therapist at a hospital, and she will actually do art therapy with people that are visiting a child in the hospital, try to help them process things. So, I mean, it's in the realm of possibility. But when you look at the mother and daughter's reaction here, when he starts talking about that again, they both have very pursed lips, like they close their lips like this.
Mm-hmm. They're definitely mother-daughter.
Like they want to say something, but they don't. And they look at each other and they shake their heads no again. So he's still probing to see where it is that he can make this connect. And to your point, Susan, you get to the part where it's the playing the music during treatment, right?
Right.
Because most likely he wasn't in the hospital. Okay.
Yeah, just until the very end, maybe, but not for
Right.
treatments. I mean, you go to the hospital or you go to a clinic and you get infusion for about an hour. So of course you put your headphones on or you read a book or you take a nap, but it's not like it's not like here comes the art therapist. Oh my gosh, here's an accordion. We're gonna give you lessons on it. It's just okay. No, I guess it's possible, but it's not typical. And
it's not hitting. It's not hitting for them.
And
right?
He's trying to get it back in there because he had that miss. Just pass it up, Matt. I mean, you've already passed on the fact that you have not told us what your sister's name is, his sister, or his own name, or anybody else in the family, or pets, or anything, any name or anything.
Or what he passed from. Right.
Right, exactly. So, okay, let's go back to the.
Okay. Somebody was coming. Do you know if there was a social worker that was coming in with him and doing things with him? Like there was something that was done with he was starting to get into this before his passing.
I don't know.
And whatever it is, this is connected to his anxiety because he's saying to me it was helping him with some of his anxiety and some of the nervousness that he was feeling, but it was all around the treatment. It was all over this. I got to tell you that he's talking about passing and tragedy. And when I see this, what's really tough is that in the beginning, he tells me that initially he was getting some good results, meaning that you thought that he was going to be able to make it through this in the very beginning. And that he shows me he showed me visions of test results coming in and him being okay. And it's showing the sign of progress. And then all of a sudden I keep seeing that this illness came back with a vengeance for him. And literally he's showing me about nothing working and literally you all trying to put him through different treatments. And all I keep hearing is about there being these dead ends where nothing was working, and his body started to shut down. So I have to tell you that your son says to me that he wants to let the two of you know that he's so sorry that you had to go through all of this, that you had to go through this pain and this hurt and watch him go through all of these treatments. But he also tells me this. He knows that the doctors, the nurses, everybody that was around him was trying to help him. And he's bringing that through. And he says to me that he felt so much love when he was going through this. And he also wants to thank you for the way that, even though he was going through all of these issues, these health issues, about the way that you made him feel like every other kid, every other teenager here in this world. So I got to tell you this. When I'm connecting with him, he tells me that you still have clothing of his that you kept here in this world. Because he keeps talking about shirts. So do you still have his shirts?
I've got a couple, yes.
Okay. And he's also bringing me over to, it looks like I don't know if this was his teddy bear or a teddy bear that was given to you in memory of him.
The little one at the hospital. Yeah.
So I don't know if this was
Okay, this is, I mean, he's really going in with this as a child, a teddy bear. And
he even said help him feel like a teenager.
Yeah.
Right. Which reinforced the whole 14 years old. He tries to tie in that art, people. He's really reaching on that anxiety and that art and that social worker. And after that happens, he jumps straight to the word. What word does he jump to? That hot word, tragedy. Okay.
Tragedy. Yes.
Yes. We have reached the apex of the bell curve, y'all. We're up here. Sorry, that's my Richmond coming.
I love it. Well, he does. He brings tragedy, mystery in, usually right at the beginning. And yes, tragedy, I don't know. Tragedy to me, it would be a tragedy to have your child go through this. Absolutely. But my vision of a tragedy is more like, you send your son out for milk and he doesn't come home. That's a sudden thing. This, I don't know. I guess I was thinking the guy's 40.
Yeah, for me, it's being the mom of a 13-year-old son. That's
Mhm.
why I had to observe this a little bit reserved after the first time I watched it. I really had to step away and take some time and say, let's research this a little bit and get some facts around it, right? So he's
Right.
still acting as though this is a cancer situation. Um, you know, you can just imagine a child with cancer. That is
It would be a
horrible.
tragedy. It would be a
It's
tragedy. I
horrible.
guess it just depends on your definition of the word. In other words, it fits any situation you want it to fit.
It really does. It really does. You know, for me, my son breaking his arm is a tragedy. So it's
Yeah,
subjective,
you're
right?
probably right.
Yeah, it's subjective. And so I can see where you're coming from too. As far as
Didn't he start with a mystery?
right, he does. He's like, you know, the treatments were working. They really don't emote. We don't see any nodding. They just sort of do
Mhm.
the mouth close again. And then he says the treatments are working and they get a little bit brighter, but still not a whole lot of emotion. And then he said it came back with a vengeance. Still, we're not seeing anything from them as far as a reaction. All through the treatments kept hitting dead ends. They are still not moving. He's like desperate at this point, I would think, for some kind of nod that he's on the right yellow brick road here. We're not getting a shoe. We're not getting a cowardly lion. There is no Tin Man. You know, he then jumps on to, do you still have some of his clothing?
And
Now, I'm
and
sorry. As a mom, I have a piece of clothing from every time my child changed size. Okay.
yes,
That's just the kind of mom I
of
am.
course. I still
But
have those too. My kids are in their almost in their 40s. So yeah,
exactly.
of
I put
course.
the
I have my parents' clothes. I have my
yes.
I'm not letting go. I mean, fabric is, yeah, no. That
It's
has
a
a lot of
very,
meaning.
very generalized thing. A lot of people make mementos out of clothing. So
Mhm.
this is a real general kind of shotgun statement. He is pulling out the big gun here, people looking for a prop to hold on to as he's sinking in his mistakes.
A teddy bear
Um,
too.
the teddy bear, the hospital. So finally we get a hit with the props with the teddy bear in the hospital. So we're gonna stay here for a minute since we finally hit gold.
Yeah, no, I want to ask you something now that I'm thinking, what if she did say 14? Okay. So she's in her 60s,
Mm.
if anything. Her daughter, I swear, is in her 30s.
Gosh,
So,
see, I thought like 19 to 26.
oh no, she's, well, maybe on the far end of 26. But
Mhm.
if she had a 14-year-old son who died, probably, how long ago was this? Because I mean, my children are almost 40. So, and I'm about the same age as this woman. You know, I'm looking at her teeth, I'm looking at everything else. 14. Wow, that's like 15 years ago or more. It's quite a
It's
while.
it's gotta be. It's gotta be. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is a fresh unless that's why another reason why I was thinking she did say 40 because a 40-year-old
Right.
would make sense that
But I've known several women throughout my life. Like I knew one lady in church, she went completely gray when she was 30. I was having a hard time clocking the age here. And because I thought I heard the word 14, I was just mentally making this work. I wasn't really
yeah.
paying attention.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
looking at her teeth. Her teeth are definitely a woman older. I mean,
Mm,
yeah, and then
I didn't notice that. I did
yeah,
not notice that.
she is older. She's in her 60s, maybe even 65. Look at, well, you can see it, but the people watching this right now, her neck is definitely, this woman is in her 60s, probably mid 60s now that I'm looking at it further. And there is, so it's been a while since she's had a 14-year-old child. So this is an older death, but Matt's making it kind of sound, I don't know, does it make it sound like it's recent? He's being ambiguous about it.
Yeah, he was really ambiguous about it. He made it, I think the reason he went with the statement, I'm having him take me back through his death, is because he couldn't use his old hand, stand me by. The soul is new, so they have trouble transitioning and
Oh, good
communicating,
point.
blah, 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 blah. Now we're
Right.
going through the other stop statement for him to buy time, which is I'm having them take me through their death.
Mm-hmm. That's right, because he always says that if the person's been dead less than a year, then they're going to have
Mm-hmm.
difficulty coming through, and that's why I'm making so
Mm-hmm.
many mistakes. But
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't
And
say
he
the
wanted,
last part.
they did not give him a thing. They just gave him son and sister, period. We got nothing else from them, right?
That's
So
true.
he's having to be very general, right? He's desperately thinking until we hit on the close.
Well, if it's been 15 years or so since this child has died, then he should be coming through pretty damn clearly. And he should say something
Oh,
about
yes,
his
ma'am.
sister by her name, and he should be able to say his own name. And he should
Yes.
be able to say some specifics other than general, oh, I had anxiety and there was some art and I listened to music. I mean,
And I was misunderstood, just like
and-
every other teenager in the
yeah,
world.
and you kept some clothes of mine. What about it? What about it? So you've kept some clothes. He's talking about the clothes. What about it? What about the teddy bear? What is it that you, if their dad is speaking to this mother and daughter, sister, what is he trying to say about a teddy bear and clothes? Why is he bringing it up? I mean, why would that be important for somebody who's come through for the first time in 15 years to say,
Who was supposedly fighting his way to the front of the crowd of souls.
oh, that's right. He pushed his way forward to say
Right.
that you still have some of my shirts. And there was a teddy bear given to me by somebody in the hospital. What
Right.
about it? And
Right.
what you want me to give it to somebody? You want me to make a quilt out of it? Or what? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you're right. Matt is really reaching. And because they are more stoic, it
Yes.
makes it a little more difficult for him as well as the audience to, because remember, Matt knows he has a large audience watching right now, and they want to get something out of this too, something therapeutic out of it. And to have
Yes.
very, non-bawling kind of people and very small nods of their heads is not a good spectacle for the rest of the audience to watch.
Right. And the closed lips that are pursed,
Mhm.
like they want to say something, maybe no, but they don't. And I think it's really a valid point here, Susan, for us to stop and realize we're both getting very different reactions to several different things here.
Well, that's
And
why I'm
just to
glad you're here with me, because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but just to show how general his statements and far-reaching they are, we're both getting separate things. And this,
And
I think us getting separate things, even though we're not agreeing, just goes to show you the actual range of generalization and how it affects different people, right? I think that's so important. And I mean, we're having it happen live.
Right. Now, if you're the parents of the mother and the daughter sitting there on the couch and going through this without having any way of, they're not recording it, they're not taking notes, they're just sitting there and passively listening to this happen to them, they're not really thinking. I mean, they're caught up in what he's saying, which is coming very fast. I mean, they're not pausing at all like we are, so we can have a discussion about it. They're just letting it rip.
Right.
And I'm really enjoying looking at this mother and daughter couple. They are so, I mean, eyebrows, hair parting, everything. I mean, everything, face structure, the nose, they are definitely mother-daughter. If they walk
and
down
their
the street
mannerisms
together,
and expressions as well.
yes. If you saw them walking down the street together, or
you know they belong to each other.
If they were in the store and they were in different aisles, you'd go, oh, your daughter is on that aisle over there, or your mom is at the checkout line. You can definitely tell their similarities. It's super interesting, just genetics, how you can watch it. Anyway, that's an offshoot. I'm just fascinated by people. But okay, so let's go back to see where we are.
Made after his passing or made for him. I don't know what exactly this is. We keep showing this teddy bear.
Yeah.
So know it's his way of just acknowledging that he knows that you have this in memory of him, and he's bringing that through when I'm speaking to him. It's beautiful because when I'm connecting with your son, not only does he tell me that his passing was peaceful, even though it happened so quickly, he does tell me that on the other side, one of the signs that he uses to send you is birds. He loves communicating with nature with you. And he talks about sending birds all the time to let you know that he's there and that he's close by, because he's bringing that through. And what also I keep seeing is he's also bringing me over to a connection with stones or like little rocks.
Yeah.
So do you collect rocks in memory of him, or what's the connection with these little stones?
I've created a little garden in here, and I've put little rocks in the back garden.
Beautiful. But there's something else that he's telling me about, like you doing with those stones. So I don't know if you bring stones to that garden that you find in certain places.
Off the
Beautiful.
beach, yeah.
So So you go to the beach, you find these stones and you bring them back. That's going to be what it is. Because he showed me like these little stones that you'll find that'll just like stick out to you. That you say like, this is him or this is my son, that you feel a connection to. And he goes, let my mom know about the stones. So please know that.
Okay, that is so no. Sorry. This is just so generic and just so full of BS. He never said that she never said that she created the garden for her son. She just said she has a garden and there are stones in it. And sometimes she picks up stones and she brings them home and she puts them in the back garden. There's nothing odd about that. That's what human beings do when they're making a small garden. It just, oh, like the
Right,
dad has come back and said, I want to talk to my mom about her putting stones in the back of the house, in the garden in the back. Like, what about it?
Yes. Yes. So I think he was really trying to hit on something with the teddy bear. It didn't work. So boom, we're going to that old faithful standby, the birds.
Oh,
right?
the birds.
The birds. This is the first time we get the big emotional payoff that he's been looking for. And he was looking desperate, people. We are now so relieved, Matt Fraser. He feels like he's off the hook there. You cannot scrutinize him after these birds, right? He's like, oh, thank God the bird angels have saved me.
The birds. He doesn't know what kind of birds are in England.
He didn't say cardinal. He didn't say
I don't
blue
think he's going to say
jay.
cardinals. I don't think they're in Britain. But
No,
he doesn't know
exactly.
that.
He didn't say magpie. I mean, there is no a
Raven.
pigeon, a dove, something. No,
A bird.
it's just a bird. Okay. And a lot of people believe that. Like, I personally believe when I see a hummingbird, that's my grandparents come to visit me, because I have a male and a female that live in my backyard. And that's my thing. It makes me feel better. Obviously, he's made them feel a lot better, right? We finally get a little teary. We get the big smiles. So he knows he's on the right path here with the nature. And then he goes to the rocks, right? The thing for me about the rocks that I identified with is my son has always brought me home rocks and still does. But when he was much smaller, his pockets would be full of rocks every day from daycare. We had bags and bags of them. And I would tell him, the rocks need to go back to their mommies because we had so many stones, Susan.
Oh my gosh.
But we would keep one and let it spend the night, right? But he still collects rocks, and he's big into minerals. And when we go to the beach, of course we collect things. That's something we like to do together. But he's making this big deal of the garden and the rocks. And like you said, most people do that, especially when they go to the beach. We've never established that this is a memorial garden in his name, or that the rocks have his name on it, or if they've been placed by a statue, or built to a specific symbol. We don't get any of that.
I'm just wondering about the birds. I mean, do they not see birds before her son died? And how do we know that the birds that are being sent to her are for her, and they're not for the next door neighbor or the other,
or
person
the cat
on the street, or the cat? Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of birds being sent.
I know.
The whole thing makes me just like go, you got to be kidding me. Come on. This is just so reaching, because he's got
really
nothing.
is.
He's got
it
nothing.
really is.
It's so cold reading.
The other thing was, after my former partner's dad passed away, his brother came for a barbecue to our house. And I had, because people were coming over, just filled all the bird feeders. I probably have 8 in my yard. He commented on, look at all the cardinals. Dad is here. And I said, I just filled all the bird feeders.
Oh, you ruined it for him.
And look, I have a
Rebecca.
pair that mates in this bush right by my door, and they fly by my head all the time. So he's looking for something to start the platitudes, like you say, Susan.
We're coming down off the.
Yes.
We got a little bit more to go. He's going to come up with something else real quick, because he doesn't think they feel good enough yet. They've got to start feeling better. So he's going to come up with something about something else. We'll see in a minute. Okay, ready to start back, or is there something else you want to say?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
In that garden, the way that you created that for him, the way that you made the way that you planted the plants for him, and every single thing that you do, your son sees. And he wants to thank you so much for that. He just said to me that he wants to thank the two of you for being such an amazing support to him. And wait a minute, there's a big part of this that I was missing. Sorry, he's telling me this now. All right. He's telling me, let me just make sure I can get this right. He's telling me that something about his death will help other children or are helping other children today. So was he in a like an experimental treatment, or was something donated? There's something that he's making, that he's showing me was like, I passed in this way, but either he's making me feel like almost like if he got sick today, he wouldn't pass, or there would be a better survival rate, and that he was part of some study or.
There's been, the doctors contacted me after he passed away to say that they wanted to do a journal of like a case study, so that the treatment plan could change for people in the future.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Your son is telling me, I don't know if they ever shared the results of that with you or shared whatever happens with that, but he's sharing it with me. And he kept telling me about this being part of this experimental like study or whatever, however you call it. And he kept saying to me, my death wasn't for nothing. And he said to me that now in today's time, 2025, he said to me that whatever you did with his death, that the survival rate has improved because of him being part of this group. So please know that he's thanking you for doing that, and that he knows the other side can see things that we don't, right?
Okay, I'm going to stop again because there's a lot there, and I'm going to let you go.
It is. It really is.
Go for it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know who had the baton. I didn't want to speak over you.
You're
So again, he's making this broad fishing statement, throwing out there, there's something else, because as you just said, Susan, he's looking for a way to make them feel better still, because we can't, it's not personal enough with the birds and the rocks and the nature, right? He's like, I just thought of something. He's like, was there an experimental treatment? Was there, he's helping other children today. Was there experimental treatment or a donation? So this could be either a donation of parts of the body, or this could be to help other children, or this could be a donation of money or a grant or a fund or a program that they started to help other children or something like that they're participating in. Because a lot of people do something in memoriam of their child or loved one. So he's fishing here. Okay. And even after they don't really agree with this, and then he starts to talk about experimental, they don't agree with that either. We're not getting a lot of emotion from them. They are trying really hard to concentrate. The mom's like trying really hard to make this fit. And she goes, oh, well, I was reached out to about a journal article. Okay. And then he says, did you do that? Like,
again, yeah, a question.
Why didn't the son say this is helping children with blah, 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 blah?
Other children with leukemia or children with, there's no, it was so general.
Yes.
And he just kept going and going and going and going. And the mother, she kind of looked like she was going to interrupt him. I thought she kind of looked like she was taking a breath to speak. And he just didn't want to let her say anything until he got all the general stuff out of there. And
wow.
It didn't feel like there was much. I mean, almost anything could have fit.
Do you feel like he was being manipulative in that way, Susan?
I'm not sure if I would say that. I think he was just trying to go out on a high. I think he was trying to go for something emotional. And he says the key words there, your son didn't die, for nothing. There was
die in vain.
Life.
Right.
Well, she knows that. The sister knows that. Of course they know that. The family knows that. They were touched by this child's life. They don't need Matt saying that. And they don't need of course. It just felt like he was trying to, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm a little callous because I've seen so many of Matt's readings. I feel like he's trying to get an emotional reaction that's going to cause them to cry really a lot so that the audience is like, yes. I get that feeling that he's trying to make him cry. And by saying my life was not, it was not wasted. He was hoping that they would go, yes, and start bawling or something.
And
I don't know.
Have the catharsis that he's looking for his readings, right?
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of emotion again from them. The most emotion that I saw, at least on my side here, on my edge of the screen, was the birds.
Mhm. Yeah, and they laughed. They kind of went, ha! Like
Right.
maybe like you, like in your case, like you say, you have a hummingbird pair that you see in the backyard and you kind of
Yes.
associate it. So
Yes.
maybe that hit with them where they've got like a little
Right.
joke that there was a bird that's been hanging around and they kind of say, oh, could that be
Yeah.
our unnamed brother?
Right.
Died
Right.
of some unknown cause that, I don't know. Of course, I think so. Or they just are, I think they're buying into this. I think they believe it, but it kind of gave me I almost had that same reaction here watching it at my computer is like, oh, the tropes, like a laugh, like, oh, brother. But
Mm-hmm.
that's me because I hear birds and coins and music and all that stuff all the time. So it doesn't mean I'm just jaded because everybody says it. I don't know. And this reading is going long for them. We're at 11 minutes and we got a minute and a half to go. So I'm surprised he brought it back up because
We
he
had
was
to.
out. He was done. And
Mm,
yet he wanted to throw this in there again. And his readings are about 9 minutes. So for it to be so
wow.
11, 12, 12 and a half minutes is a long reading for him.
Right. He had to
Especially when he's
close.
got nothing.
He had to close a lot of loopholes and get them to close the loopholes for them.
Mhm.
Right. And he was just miss. And he's not looking so good in this one, y'all.
Yeah, I have a feeling that he is trying really hard for an emotional reaction, and that's why it's going longer. Because if you see the readings where he gets somebody to start bawling right away, and
Yes.
I'm not trying to say I'm making fun of these people. They're obviously tied
No.
to this emotional thing, but I
Or
have
they're
a feeling,
already crying before it even happens.
right. I mean, they're just right in it. And then I think
Mhm.
those readings go fast. They go
Yes.
faster because he's got him to that point, and then he's out with the platitudes, and then he's on to the next person. It makes him
Yes.
laugh a little bit, and then he's gone. But I think I get that feeling, like I said, it's probably just me because I do not like this man that I'm seeing that he seems to have that touch where he is trying to make everybody cry. It's not over till they've cried.
Mm-hmm.
Good cry. I want a good emotional let's release. And I don't know, I can't quite remember what's going to happen next. You might, well, you've watched this more recently,
Right.
so you know if he's going to end on a
Oh,
good.
I don't know if I've watched it more than you, but let's just see.
Okay, let's see. I can't quite remember. You guys let us know in the comments what you think because
And whatever he's seeing that he did save lives. However that happened, it saved lives. That's what he keeps telling me. So he's letting you know that from the other side, because when you do something, right, and like for the way that you were contacted to help, use your son's treatment in passing in a way to make it part of a journal or a study or whatever they call it, your loved ones in spirit also jump on board with that mission. And your son shows me it being his mission to watch over other children who are sick. Because he still shows me visiting hospitals. Like he shows me about being connected to other kids. And like when we get to the other side, we take on other journeys and other jobs. And I see your son watching over other children who had gone through the same thing that he went through or similar. So know that it's his way of acknowledging that and letting you know that he knows what you did for him and he's thanking you.
Thank you.
So know that every day that goes by, he is there. And by the way, I'm so happy that you guys joined me from England, because so many times people write to me, they're like, I'm in Australia, I'm in England, I'm in this place, I'm in that place. So I'm so happy that I get to connect with you. And I hope one day I can make it over to the UK. I've been trying, but there's just been some hiccups with that. But I hope one day I make it over your way.
Yes, me too.
Is this your first time being here?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I'm so happy that you were here today. And I know that this was your son's way of trying to reach you and connect with you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to leave you with that.
all right, let's be clear. I'm trying my best to make sure that Matt is not allowed into Australia or the UK because we're doing a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I think that this will let's just say there's going to be a lot of ammunition about keeping him out. I know Australia and New Zealand are really adamant about trying to keep people out who are peddling medical misinformation and things like that. They have more ammunition
okay.
to be able to stop things. Same in the UK. They don't have the rules here in America, well, who knows what's going on in America these days, but the they don't have the rules that they have, and possibly he's suffering because, of course, um, the UK has their own psychics. I mean, they have their own nonsense going over there, and possibly for financial reasons, getting his paperwork done for because he's being paid and so on. It's more difficult. I think that might be part of the problem. Plus, he's just not known there. He's not even known here in America very well.
Right. Right.
So what venue would he have? I mean, he's going to go over to America and go over to UK and get like 300 people in a room. I mean, he's not even bringing in huge numbers. And when I've seen him in public,
Right.
he could sort of bring in some people, and yeah, it's a good show. But I mean, he's supposed to be speaking to dead people. I would think that would fill every seat everywhere.
Yes. Everybody has lost somebody.
But he's not, and there's just a lot of competition out there. And I think, I don't know. You said you had something to say about his traveling Australia and UK.
Oh, so, again, we get nothing reaction wise from the mom or the sister, daughter
Okay.
about what he's going through at the
Thank
end.
you. Okay. Yeah.
And
Nothing.
then the big emotional payoff again is, thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad you could be here.
All the way from England. They laughed
England.
as much as they did when the birds came up.
Yes.
Like, what?
Yes.
Oh, we're from England. Ha ha. Yes, we are. Thank you for noticing.
Yes.
I don't know. Oh, I'm going to tell you a story about feathers real quick.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now this was a reporter had written to me. I'm not going to say what magazine it was, but they ended up doing a story and using me in this article. So when you get like a New York Times or a big magazine and they're doing a story on psychic mediums and they reach out to me, sometimes it takes months for the whole story to come through. So this reporter reached out to me and said, I was told by my editor that they wanted me to do a story on psychic mediums. And I'm like, okay, all right. How can I help you? And they said, okay, here's the story. My editor's sister has become heavily involved in mediums, her and her husband. Okay, let's say her name is Alice and her husband, Jerry. So Alice and Jerry are now heavily into psychic mediums when they weren't before. Right?
Wow.
So he says, now we want to know. So that's why he wants me to do a story on this. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me the whole story, because I don't know I mean, I could go anywhere with this, but I'm only going to get a few sentences in the article. And he says, well, I'm just telling you his backstory. That has nothing to do with the reason why I'm talking to you, because that's just the backstory of why I'm doing this article for this magazine that doesn't normally talk about psychics. I'm like, all right, fine. And I said, so what happened? What convinced her? Do we have an idea? And he says, yes. Alice's brother, which is the same brother as the editor, died of a heart attack like at 40 or something, some youngish age. Just very suddenly, they didn't know he had any heart conditions or anything of the sort. And so she reached out to a psychic medium after he died, and the psychic medium told her something, and that was it. It was the thing. And I said, well, what was it that they told this Alice person that was so convincing that the brother was trying to get through? Oh, it was about a feather. And I'm like, okay, a feather? Yes. What happened is, and he's telling me the story. He says, what happened is that Alice was sitting, I guess, outside, and they have a huge oak tree or some kind of big tree. And she has like a 4-year-old little girl, and the little girl was outside playing, and she came in and she handed her mommy a feather.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I said, children do that. Feathers, flowers,
yes.
Clovers, stones.
Yes.
I mean, that's just a 4-year-old's behavior, and lots of children ages behavior. It's nothing unusual about that.
Mm-mm.
He said, yes, I know. But the psychic that she went to for the first try said something about a feather. And that was it. She's hooked. And he says, there's nothing you can say to this woman now because she knew about the feather. And I said, wait a minute. I didn't know about the feather. And so I brought him back through the story. And I said, all it's a common trope for us
Right.
to mention coins, music, feathers,
You
stones,
can even Google
birds.
that on your phone. They tell
Absolutely.
you that. You Google it.
Yes, these are common signs, or the time on
Yes.
the clock, 11:11,
Yes.
numbers that duplicate. Lots of that. That's common. So probably the psychic medium mentioned a whole bunch of stuff. And in that stuff, one of the words was feather. And because Alice is so emotionally caught up in this, looking for a reason, looking for something, a sign from her brother who died quickly. They didn't have time to say goodbye, none of that.
No,
So
no.
she said, okay, there's a feather. Therefore, he knows about my daughter bringing in the feather and giving it to me. And that was a sign from the sun. And I told this to the guy, and he says, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. He says, I never thought of that. And he went back, and I guess he told his editor, and the editor was like, I'm floored. There's That's all? That's all it took? And I'm like, that's all it takes to somebody who's very emotionally needing this. They're motivated,
Vulnerable.
and they're
Yeah.
primed to believe in an afterlife. They're primed because of the conditioning of how you're raised. You believe that there's life after death, and that it's possible to communicate with them and to go to a heaven, and that you're going to see them again. If you're primed to believe all that, and you really are looking for signs, sometimes that's all it'll take. So that story never appeared, and it's been many years now, so I'm comfortable telling it now, and I'm not giving away who said it, but that's all it takes. And so in this case, these people are going to leave going, he knew about the stones. It's like, no, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me
Mm-hmm.
that.
It's just like we were talking about what your really good point in our other review that we just did about how it leaves other people emotionally available for further predation, right? That they would go and seek out one of these lesser known psychic mediums that maybe
Right.
a friend knew or they found online, and they get in this relationship like this lady with the feather, and they start taking her money.
Taking her money, giving health advice,
All of
making
these
financial decisions for them.
buy a burial plot.
That was a whole nother one, you guys.
That was a whole nother Matt Fraser one. I'm not trying to be jokey here, but we have to have a little bit of humor for ourselves
Oh
just to
yeah, he
get
talked
through these.
talked a woman into buying a huge funeral plot for her son. Was it her son?
Yes.
And to take a vacation, a very
In
big vacation,
Florida. Yes.
a large vacation. So we're
Yes.
like, and if she can't afford that, and she's told that her son wants that, so she's going to just
Right.
take out a second mortgage, or I mean, what? Oh, sorry,
Yes.
we're not going to pay for your college education now because we got to go to Florida.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We got to get a family plot. We were anyway. We're not joking, but
That was
that's
seriously
another
one of
reading,
his reading advisements. It really was,
which
y'all.
gets into the financial stuff that I was talking about. You never know
Yes.
where it's going to crop up, but these people will never have another reading from Matt Fraser. They
No.
may come back to the event again. They may sit there and have a really good time and enjoy it, and for the vicariously watch other people get readings and think about it and have a little chuckle and say that was wonderful. I felt really good. They may have had a cathartic moment and a bonding experience with each other. But if they leave it right there and they, go see Matt and just keep giving him $22, $27 each time or whatever, okay. But sometimes, her husband's probably died. She's got a wedding ring on still. So I don't think it's divorce. And there'll be others. I watched another one. Well, I have another reading in the queue waiting for somebody to pick it up. That is, the woman gets all the way through, and then she says at the very end, I was hoping my husband would come through, or my son to come through, something like that. And he's like,
Oh my
oh well,
God.
he's here too, but there was other souls pushing through, so you'll have to come back. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll try coming back. But you know what she'll do is she's not going to get another reading, so she's going to go
No.
to another psychic, and then that psychic may be one of those people who's going to prey on them. So yeah,
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think it just goes to show something again that you told that we discussed was people are going to hear what they want to hear. And I think that was very evident in our review today. We had the advantage of having a printed transcript, having time to review this ahead of time, having time to watch this multiple times for a recording, to stop it and think and take notes. And we both came up with different impressions, answers, analysis. Like you said, these people are going to leave here feeling better, and they're going to believe and think what they want to believe and think. I think that today's episode, even though we didn't agree on what we were hearing and seeing, just goes to show you, how general his readings are and how he uses that to his advantage. And that these people, like you said, they're going to go away feeling better and think that it actually worked.
Yeah. I mean, it was so general to me. I was creeping out at the end where he's talking about, because I'm still in my mind thinking it's a 40-year-old son. And I'm getting towards the end thinking, oh, he's in the hospital watching other children and stuff. I'm like, ooh, that's creepy. Why would you say something like that? That was kind of eerie. He's here helping children. And I'm like, okay, well, was he childlike? What was wrong?
Right.
Why is he helping children out, this 40-year-old
Right.
man? Why is he not helping out people who had, I don't know. It creeped me out. But like you said, it's obviously reading for a 14-year-old. Now, I have a really important question for you.
Okay.
Okay, this is important. So I heard 40, you heard 14.
Yes.
Matt obviously heard 14. Now, let's say the answer was 40, right? Let's say it really was 40.
Okay.
And the mom and the daughter are sitting there going, why is he talking about our son as if he's a child, like he's a teenager, when he's clearly was 40? He had a wife and children. He had, a career. He had pets. He had this life, right? Why is Matt talking about him and not mentioning any of the other family members or his wife or children or anything? His wife is pregnant with their baby, nothing. Would the mother and the daughter stop Matt and say, I think you got something wrong here because he's 40, not 14, or like stop him in any way and say, something don't feel right. Are you sure you got my son? I mean, would they have stopped, or would they have just done what they did and just continued nodding and saying, okay, I guess this will make sense somehow? Would they have corrected him is what I'm trying to say. Because I have never really ever seen a sitter in all the readings I have seen with Matt Fraser and most other psychics ever correct somebody. They might give a little bit of correction, but they never say, you're talking about two different men. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about my father's side, or what's his name? Just tell me his name so I know which uncle are we talking about? Which uncle? They never do that. They never question the person.
Let me ask you a question here. Did they say this was their first time reading with him?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to inform my thoughts on this a little bit. I'm going to say, gosh, this is so hard. I'm going to say no. And I'm going to say no for a couple different reasons. They may have seen a reading earlier where somebody said no and he immediately dropped them, and they were afraid that they were going to miss their reading. Okay. Yeah. I'd have to go back and watch the whole deed and see if that was
where they fall into the there's
spectrum.
Always somebody. There is always somebody. So I don't remember which order this is in, but I think it's towards the end. I'm pretty sure it's towards the end.
I also think culturally, they may not have felt comfortable correcting him because, again, we have this power playing. He's the expert.
He's most America's top medium.
Right.
New York Times bestseller.
Right. Really putting him in the position of being the expert in the medium. And maybe that's what a lot of the closed mouth was about, is because they wanted to say something, but they were too afraid to. The other reason that I think no is that they really wanted to hear from this person and they were hoping that something would fit. Now, on the other hand of the coin, he did start out really, really young with this reading, right? They could have said, oh, he was an artist. He played guitar. He had a band up until his 40s when he died. He's getting nothing from these people, right? And to me, the whole reading seems like it was for a teenager, because he even says teenager in the end, and he says he helps more children, which is interesting that you came up to the perspective of, why is he saying helping children when
That's
this is
creepy.
obviously a 40-year-old man?
Yeah.
I mean, did he misunderstand them because of the accent? Or did they not correct him? I don't think we're ever really going to know. I was under the impression that because he just proceeded forward, because they didn't correct him, that was what the answer was. But I think it's the scarcity of, they paid, they really want to hear from their loved one. They don't want it to end. They really want that message to come through. They had an opportunity to correct him and give him information, and they really didn't.
I mean, how would they have even said it? Oh, excuse me, Matt. Wait, let me stop.
My son,
I can't even see him doing that. It's socially, it's not.
It's impolite.
And they're British, and we know
Yes.
the British are very polite. Well,
Yes.
they're women.
Yes.
Women are conditioned to not. I know, I'm one. I'm at least as old
Don't
as
rock
he
the
is.
boat. Don't say
And
man to no.
you do not
Yes,
question a
that's
man's
wrong.
authority.
Mhm.
So, I mean, because they're self-selected to be there. These are people who are already believe in this kind of thing, and they're also self-selected that they are the type of people who would go for this. So I don't know how she would have said it. Like, as the reading got a little more confusing, where she's like, gosh, she keeps talking about a teenager, because she can't confer with her daughter, because they're just kind of like looking at each other a little bit, kind of teddy bear. But I get the feeling they're going to say, we'll just get through this,
Right.
and then we'll talk about it later, because that was a little strange, but I cannot see them correcting him. I don't even know how they would do it.
It would have happened to happen early on. And the only reason it would have got corrected is because they fed him information early into the actual reading. And then he wouldn't have had to fish and generalize as much as he did in this cold reading. I mean, this is a really good example of cold reading. And this is a really good example of him trying to make the loops fit, because they're not making the loops fit for him, which is what he wants to have happen. He wants the feedback, and he wants them to make the mental leaps and jumps in logic to make all of this fit. And they weren't doing that. They weren't giving him anything reaction wise. And so he's really was drowning here.
That's why I think it went long. He was either going to tell him no, or he was going to and move on to somebody else. Another one I have in the queue waiting, there's 2 no's. No, leaves that person. Next one is a no, leaves that person. Goes to the third person, tries it again. Is it your mom? I don't know. He says, is it your dad? And she goes, no, my dad's still alive. And he's like ready to leap to the third person. But I think he's cleared out his waiting room, because it was I think it's the last reading of the day. So I think he's they've already kicked out everybody out of the waiting room area, and there's no further to go. So then he tries again with the same third person could it be your mom? Because I've just been kind of confused, because all you guys on the screen, your screens are so close together to each other. That's what he tries that. I've heard that several times. Like, why would that confuse you, Matt?
I thought the soul appeared behind them in the screen. So why are we the silhouette?
He hopes that you've forgotten that part.
I feel like I need to have a cardboard person behind me the next time maybe we try this.
It's something else, I tell you. Yeah, I think this is really an interesting reading, because we saw it differently. And I'm curious what people in the comments are going to say. Are they going to agree with this? And I hope we get some British people in here who say, clearly she said this, or clearly she said that. But I don't think that she culturally would have corrected him. At no point could she. I mean, he would have lost face. I mean, if she had said towards the end of the reading, well, is there anything about his wife and children? He's got a new grandchild now. Is there anything about that, Matt? Matt would have been like flummoxed. She's like, well, I thought he was a teenager. He's coming through as a teenager.
I thought he was driving in heaven. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, he's 14. He's probably driving in heaven. He's probably got a whole fleet of cars, as far as Matt's concerned. He's
sorry, y'all. That was the first video. Yeah, go back and watch that one.
All right. Any parting thoughts before we end this event? I really appreciate it. That was really good. That was good. And we
Yeah, I
got much more
appreciate it too.
concise this time, I think.
Yeah, and we had a lot of back and forth, and I'm glad we both have different perspectives. I think it makes the video more interesting.
It shows how general that was.
Right, right.
They're going to
It
leave
does-
thinking that was awesome. I'm sure they're going to think it was awesome. Well, I don't know.
Yes.
If he was 40, they're going to go, that was confusing.
Yes,
But if he was 14, they're going to go, oh, where's the teddy bear? Let's put it on the shelf now. He
Right.
sent that teddy bear to me for no reason whatsoever. I'm going to go get some stones from the beach today.
right.
There was really nothing there. I feel kind of bad for them, but they smiling at the end.
Yes,
They got their reading.
that's what he's looking
They
for.
win the lottery. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to do another one of these.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. And
Okay.
everybody else out there, be aware of the grief vampire. Check out the swag store and all of Susan's other informative videos.
I
So
tell you,
be
there's a
aware.
lot. There is a lot. And it's not all Matt Fraser, but boy, the more you watch them, the more you can see the cold reading. It takes a little bit. It's a little work, but it's hard. I feel like I've got friends that tell me I can't watch that stuff. That makes me so mad. And I say somebody's got to bear witness to this because it's being done privately and we need to know what's going on so that we can educate people about it, because otherwise we're just letting it pass. And so I think having these kind of conversations is instructive.
Yeah, and it's definitely good to have those different perspectives because somebody might identify with you said more than what they identify with what I said. So yeah, I agree.
I'm really looking for some Brits. Come on, Brits. I'm going to go text all my friends that are from Britain and say,
Yes,
I need you to weigh in on this one.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Everybody be kind to yourself and others. We'll see you next time.